How's it going, guys? This is a super special video backed by popular demand. One of the first videos that ever really gained traction on my channel was 4 creative transitions for your vlog. It was a tutorial on a few awesome transitions, and this is part 2 of that video. Now in this video, I want to show you guys a few more transitions that you can easily do for your vlog or any kind of video, really. It's not specific to a vlog. All these transitions are done in camera with extremely minimal editing. You know, as far as the editing goes, it's just lining things up. You can check out my editing tutorial on one of them from the past video, so you can see that all I'm doing is lining these clips up. I'm going to run this camera as my main camera while I'll be doing the actual transitions with. And I'm also going to run this camera over here so that you can see exactly what I'm doing, kind of behind the scenes. So even that right there is my first transition. It's a simple cut. It's nothing crazy, but running 2 cameras from different angles, you can cut, especially if it flows with your sentence or a movement. It's a simple cut. It's not a very abrupt transition. It doesn't throw your viewer off, but it works really well, and it of course changes things up and is visually pleasing. All right, so this is Kodak. She's gonna be helping us out, being a perfect model, probably, hopefully. So first thing we're gonna do is a transition where you basically just cover your lens. It works a lot like the hand transition, which I think I did in the first video, but for this, we're just gonna use a cell phone. You can use anything. I'm just gonna use a cell phone because I always have it handy and it works well. I like having something that's dark, that's black. I think it covers the frame better, but if you wanna use a different color, that works as well. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna be recording one shot that's maybe a wider shot, and on your lens, of course I'll be from behind it, you can go down or up, you know, side to side, really whichever direction you want. And then you're gonna do the same shot from a different angle. So I'm gonna do one further and one closer. And then that same shot, at the beginning of it, you'll do the same motion. So up or down, left or right, whichever you did at the end of the first shot. And then all you're gonna do is you're gonna piece it together in post. You're gonna piece it together when the phone or whatever you're using is completely covering the lens, and therefore it will flow from one shot to the other seamlessly. So this can be the same exact transition with a little bit of a twist. I mentioned I always have my phone on me, which is why I like using it. But if I want something a little more unique, a little more different, I like to use a Prism. Now, this is a great tool to have for photo and video. I highly recommend picking one up. They're super cheap. I'm gonna link to one on Amazon below. Definitely check that out. I think they're like $10. The main thing you want is that it's all glass. This one's even chipped. I broke it. There's a little piece missing here, but it still gets the job done. You can get some awesome reflections with this, some like light lens flare kind of stuff. And so that works really well. I highly recommend checking one of these out. But you're gonna do the same thing as with the phone. You're gonna get this to a place where it completely covers your lens, and then you're gonna move in. So I'm gonna do, again, a wider and a closer, because that's easy for me to do. But check this out, it's a really cool effect. So when I'm using a Prism, what I like to do is hold it on the outside so you don't get your fingers in there, and I move it, I turn it around while rotating it, and that gets the best effect of like lens flare and kind of mirroring, reflection, stuff like that. Really cool effect in the lens, and as you can see, it works great as a transition. Now, just to show you that you don't need anything crazy expensive, you don't need a fancy camera or anything like that to do these transitions, and that it all is in camera, I'm gonna use a GoPro to do the exact same transition we just did, and then I'm gonna also use this for the next transition as well. And then you just cut when the scene is black on both of them, line them perfectly up in your editor, and you have an easy transition that you can do with any kind of camera. Now the next transition here, I'm gonna do on the GoPro as well. I have this on like a selfie stick, something just that you can get a good grip on and something long. I don't have a Joby GorillaPod anymore for my DSLRs, though if you have something like that, this will work perfectly on there as well. All you're gonna do basically is take the camera on whatever your subject is, and you're gonna swing it either back or down, and then you're gonna just go right back to this position. And then you're gonna do the exact same thing on your next closer or different angled shot as well. So let's check this out. Now, a couple things to note here, just that you want to be really careful of, is you want to make sure your camera, whether it's a GoPro on a selfie stick or something bigger on a Joby Gorilla Pod or something like that, you want to make sure it's secure. You don't want this flying off. You also don't want this tilting, as that will disrupt the shot. Another thing is, if you are doing the swing down and back up, try to swing it kind of under your arm. You don't want to hit your knees, and you also don't want to get your legs in the shot. That will mess it up as well. Last but not least is a similar transition to what we did in the first video, which was a spin. Now, we did this on what I would call an anchored spin. So I held the camera out like this. I spun on one foot, and then I did it again in a different outfit, I believe, and I showed you that you could transition between the two very easily. Now in this one, I'm going to do a very similar shot, but instead of anchoring it with me, I'm going to take it and I'm going to spin it like this. Now the selfie stick works really well for this because you can put it in between your two palms and you can spin it 360 very quickly and easily. You want to get a quick spin so that the motion kind of blurs and you can easily transition between the two. A shot like this sometimes is benefited by using a little cross dissolve in the transition, but that's a pretty basic transition. In any editor, you should be able to find it. So let's try this. All right guys, so there you have it. There's a few new vlog transitions you can use, whether it's for your vlogs or anything else. Again, these are super easy transitions. They're almost entirely in camera and you just need to line up the shots correctly in post, which you can do with any editor. Thank you guys for hanging out with myself and Kodak. If you liked this video, I'd love for you to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment as well. Let me know what you like best about it, what transitions you're using, or things you want to learn, questions you might have about anything that I did in this video or other videos. And as always, I'd love to have you subscribe to this channel and follow along as we create more awesome videos just like this one.